Hi, I'm Deb Polson. I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I make educational games for the Australasian CRC for interaction design. Primarily, I make games for children to play in the real world as they're natural born cyborgs, as I like to call them. They're great uptakers of the mobile technology. So we try to create learning experiences in museums and public sites, and basically they're looking for creatures, so virtual creatures in the real world, but at the same time as they're looking for them in a treasure hunt, they're learning about their natural environments, and they're getting more interested in finding their real world as a place for play, and that the content in the real world becomes narrative content. It becomes full of potential for it to be learning or adventure-like, so we're kind of interested in taking the things they might learn in the classrooms and using kind of gaming structures and gaming narratives to get them to take those learning qualities into the real world and to treat the real world as a playful space. So that's kind of my ultimate agenda.
Is this your first Cross Media Lab conference?
It is my first Cross Media Lab conference.
So what attracted you to Cross Media Lab, and how do you find it so far?
Well, it's a great chance to speak to some of the people that have been quite successful in what they do, and they've given some really great advice. I mean, unfortunately, they're taking they've kind of made me turn a complete kind of 90-degree angle with the project, but I guess it was inevitable, and what this has done is it's created a real impetus for me to take a different direction in what I'm doing, and it's, these are people who get the idea straight away. They've had experience in terms of the creative process. They've had experience with markets and how audiences respond to certain things that they do. So it's their kind of experience has been unbelievable in helping me kind of formulate the project into something that might be a little bit more widespread. And being in Singapore has completely opened my mind into not limiting some of those ideas to some of the kind of expectations that the Australian public might have for mobile technologies. In Singapore, I've seen a lot of other potentials for what we might be able to do.
What attracted you to, teaching kids?
Teaching kids? Well, I teach at a university, and I teach game design. So, and when I finished university, I did interior design, and then I did a degree in fine arts. I actually was employed as an interface designer on kids' games back in the mid-'80s, so it's always been what I do. But I think the biggest thing for me, especially with Scoot, the location-based game I've made for Melbourne, is it's so satisfying to watch kids take up your game, because kids really throw themselves into the narrative, and they will extend your game narrative. They will start seeing things in the real world and start adding them into your game narrative, regardless of whether it's in there or not. So they're great uptakers of technology. They're really forgiving of technical issues, and they're not impressed by high technology. So you can use low technology, make things really quickly, and they do the rest of the work, which is make the adventure and the creation. And they're just really keen players of games without high tech.
Could you explain Scoot for those who might not be familiar with the game? Just to give them an overview.
Yeah, Scoot World is a kind of a virtual carnival world where there's some sort of dodgy carnies that live there, and they've found a way to bring the carnival world to the real world. And what you do is you become an agent of Scoot, which is called a Savitar, and you have to find some of the green carnival devices that they've sent through to this world, which are interactive games. And basically you're given a guide or a treasure hunt guide through SMS from the characters online. They send you clues, and you follow those clues around the city to find the green machines, and while sending back SMS answers to the virtual world. So it's basically an SMS treasure hunt.
So I noticed that as you mentioned, you don't design for games for use inside the classroom. It's really you want to take the kids out. Yeah. I mean the students out into the real world. So why did you concentrate on this aspect of?
Well, to start with, I've never really engaged in a game at the level I did with sort of Dungeons and Dragons when I was a lot younger. And what really, really attracted me to that was that it was a basic framework that you could create your own narratives and your own game, And I kind of want to give that opportunity back to other people, but make their real world a space that's full of potential for game. And so the good thing about Scoot is that because you make it with simple technologies, SMS only, plus there's characters, cartoon characters, and kids are able to instantly think about how they might apply it, how they might do something. So they take it on as a sort of learning experience automatically. And that's probably what sort of attracted me to that kind of genre of gameplay, is that it allows people to kind of imagine their own game worlds and their own game structures.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.